Hello there, everybody. Hello, appliance technicians and DIY enthusiasts at home. Stefan here with Care for Appliances. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Whirlpool DSI gas range. DSI standing for direct spark ignition. They're very common out there, and a lot of technicians have problems with diagnosing and troubleshooting these. To be honest, they're actually quite simple. People tend to overcomplicate what the issues are with them and over-order parts and components, or don't order the right ones to begin with. So here's a quick training video and troubleshooting guide specifically for technicians to eliminate a few of the things that can be wrong with it based on symptoms, obviously. So always listen to what the customer has to say and what they're experiencing, especially if you cannot replicate the issue and the fault yourself. Listening to what they have to say that the machine is doing when you're not there is very important. It kind of gives you a direction of what you need to troubleshoot and where you need to go with it. So just very short. So the direct spark ignition range has two major components that go bad. It's either going to be the spark module or it's going to be the gas valve. Now this range has two control boards, okay? The direct spark ignition control board, and it has a main control board. But the main control board has a lot of different components and symptoms for its failure. So anything to do with the power failure, error codes, display, things like that. If the customer's predominant failure is the oven section itself, bacon broil not igniting, not keeping up temperature, your issue is most likely going to be this DSI board. The board has a lot of components on it. They're a little different. Some of them, they're very expensive and they're rebuildable. So if you can rebuild it, go ahead and do so. If you want to buy a rebuild one, just make sure if it's from like the internet or from eBay or something like that, it's a reputable source. Otherwise, go on out to maybe Core Solutions or something like that, and they rebuild these pretty often, and they have some cores in stock where they can rebuild one and send it to you, and then you send them the core. So we're not going to test the board today. I'm not going to show you. This is actually widely available on the internet if you search for Whirlpool DSI gas range troubleshooting. But these are just some of the readings here from the control board that you can be getting and measuring on what you need to be doing. Our focus here today is super simple. It's going to be on the gas valve. What we're looking for, this is a gas valve that we took down from our range just this week. And the failure, as the customer describes it, is that it is, the cooktop is working. Everything on the cooktop is perfectly fine. So the burners on top is good, but the range is not lighting up. The oven is not lighting up. They can hear a thumping sound, sort of like a thump, but nothing else, and it does not ignite at all. So we send a technician out there to troubleshoot and see what's going on with it. This is the first thing that they test, and this is super simple, and it is the easiest thing to eliminate from your diagnosis. You're basically pulling out the bottom drawer, the warming drawer that's all the way at the bottom. You pull that out, you stick your you gotta lie on the floor, you stick your head in there with your multimeter. This is one of the most important tools for this job here. You stick your tool down there, and you just go to town with the ohms meter. Okay, so what we're going to do here right now, it's just going to put it in ohms. Okay, and what we're going to be doing is measuring the ohms. Now on the picture here, you can see that the middle one, where the black one is, this is our common. So the black one will always stay on the middle, and then our red prom is going to move between the broil and the bake. We are looking for a 216 ohms of reading. Okay, so let's see if we can make this a little more visible here, like that. All right, so what we're going to do right now is measure this one. Now I already know that this one is a bad, so we are measuring the bake and we're getting nothing. And we are measuring the broil and we are getting 240 and dropping. 239. So 240 is a little higher than what we want it to be at 216. So 240 is not 216, obviously, but the customer was actually getting broil. So although it has failed in the bake, you know, the broil was still happening. They never test the broil. They just say my oven doesn't come on. But still, you know, as a technician, if you go in there, you turn it to bake, make sure you turn it to broil as well. So this gas valve here for the Whirlpool DSI direct spark ignition range, this one has failed. Our technicians carry one of these with them in stock. He can swipe it out immediately. But this was his first stop. You know, throwing just these two prongs on it and seeing. I get a reading here, but then I don't have any bake at all. Let me see what's going on. Out of limit, OL. So we're not getting anything here on the bake, which just means that the gas valve is bad and needs to be replaced. Now, if this tests good and you're still having issues with sparks not coming on, you know, if the if you see the if it ignites the first time, if you turn it on to bake and it ignites the first time and it ignites even the second time, just let it sit there and let it cycle through a few more times. Usually on the second, third, or fourth time, it will actually not ignite. Hey, even sometimes maybe on the second time, it would just not ignite. So the first time, because it's cold and it's because it's been sitting there for a minute, it might just turn on when you turn it to bake. You know, and this is not the failure for the gas valve, but more for the DSI board, for the direct spark ignition board. If this one fails, you turn it to bake, it might actually kick in the first time and the bake ignites and you let it sit there, it reaches temperature. It might not even reach the temperature that you've asked for. It might just shut off midway, but if it does, the burner will shut off, correct? So once the burner shuts off and it maintains that temperature for a few minutes, once the temperature drops, it will try to reignite and bring up the temperature back up to normal, to whatever you have it set to, and it's not going to be able to. It will just continue to click, 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 click. It's going to do like 3-4 attempts, and it's not going to make it happen. It's not going to ignite. It's not going to release the gas, so it's just going to stop. And the temperature will keep dropping down. Now, that's not to say that maybe, you know, on the 4th attempt, it's not going to ignite again. But this 100% confirms your diagnosis that it's going to be this control board here that needs to be replaced. And again, this is more for bake and broil issues. You know, sometimes the surface burners igniters, they will do the same thing. You'll be clicking and not igniting. But there's a whole lot of issues there that need to be looked at before we jump into conclusions. So very easy to go over. DSI, Whirlpool, gas range, direct spark ignition. Super easy to just eliminate this. This is your first stop here. If you can eliminate this out of the equation, then anything else that you go from there is much more easier to troubleshoot and narrow down versus, you know, wondering, is it this one, is it that one? If you eliminate this out of the picture, you know, if you've already troubleshooted and this tests good, then you're done. You no longer have to worry about it. Now you're moving on to the control board. Maybe the piezo sparkers itself are worn out or broken or something like that, shorted. So I hope this helps everybody. Thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos. I'm working on a bunch of videos here for troubleshooting and tech guides. Subscribe if you would, please. Give us a like, thumbs up, and see you in the next video.